Hello, you're very welcome to tonight's episode of the Cosy Corner. And my guests are Sean Ward from County Leitrim and Bernie Connolly from Longford Town. You're very welcome. And our first meeting was by chance in the Longford Arms a few weeks ago.
Indeed, it was by chance, surely.
And I invited you to come along to the Cosy Corner. And I believe that the two of you also met by chance.
Myself and Bernie are good friends. We met by chance at the Banjo Festival in Longford back a good few years ago. I didn't know him and he didn't know me. But we know each other well since.
And Bernie, I was talking to you earlier and
Yes.
you were saying that you heard Sean play and...
That's right. I went into the Longford Arms, into the foyer, and Sean was playing. And there was a Yankee guy playing the fiddle as well. And they were playing lovely country music. So I went home and got the accordion, went in to join them.
And you've been
So
playing...
we're together ever since playing. Yeah.
Crying in Callaghan mostly, at weekends. That's the sort of a thing we do.
Well, Sean, you grew up in County Leitrim. Whereabouts?
On the Sleevenearden Mountains, a place called Cashel. It's near Ballinamore. It'll be between Drumshanbo and Ballinamore, out the mountains now. The scenic route.
And how did you start playing the fiddle?
Father and mother played the fiddle. They were traditional players, like. I don't know whether they agree with what I'm at, but anyway.
And why do you say, is there a difference now in
Well, I suppose everybody, it's like your appearance, you change with age. My playing probably has changed over the years, like, because of listening to different types of styles of music from America and Scotland and everywhere. I'm probably, the real grassroots fiddle playing probably wouldn't agree with me at all. They probably regard me as an outcast. But I'm happy enough. I'm happy with that. In fact, I'm very proud of being an outcast.
Well, if I can take you back to the days of your childhood, maybe you tell me a little bit about the music that you...
Lovely. In them times it was simple and country houses, and the pubs were only starting at the time, and music was in the country houses up the mountain. There was somebody was either going to America or coming back. It was better if the party when they come back was better because they'd have more money than when they were going. But which is obvious enough. But my father and mother used to play the fiddle, and there was an old hall there, Lee's Hall at Cashel. I think that was the first place I ever played with my father and mother. And Jackie Lee used to play the fiddle too. And there was no pressure on anybody. You done your own thing, and that was it. It could be out of tune, it could be in tune, it could be anywhere. Nobody passed a bit from us. There was no perfection, there was no recording studios. I can assure you that.
But
life was simple.
So it was really all about the spirit and soul of the music.
Oh, it was, yes, aye. And the best of singers around there and everything, old traditional singers and everything. And no pressure on anybody. You done whatever you thought you could do, and that's it. If it wasn't right, so what?
And what about the tunes? Were they local to the area, or were they...
And they'd be played in their local style. That's the thing now. Nowadays, everybody, there's sort of a standard style at the moment. Everybody is, you wouldn't know where anybody is from now. They could be from Clare, Donegal. But in them times, there was a distinctive style. You knew when a person started to play where they were from. You could say, that fella's from Longford, or that fella's from Cavan, or this other woman up here, she must be from Donegal. You'd know right away her style. But now, they're nearly all playing the same now.
And
the area styles have died, sort of. I don't know why that is, but...
I suppose it's like people's accents, really,
Exactly, that's right. People have changed in appearance and they talk different too. There's a new language now. There's nobody talking the real old Irish language anymore. They're talking up out their stomach or something. I don't know what they're at. I don't understand them. Part of me doesn't want to understand.
Right. So you're going to carry on in your own style.
I'm going to plough my own old lonely furrow.
Right.
I have the most of the plough, by the way.
Right.
Well, it's unique.
So Bernie is saying you're unique. Bernie, you're going to sing a song for me.
I'll try.
Right. What are you going to sing for me?
I think I might sing The Road by the River.
Okay. In your own
okay.
time. That's perfect.
I have walked along Broadway and I've been down the Strand, and I've seen the great highways in every land. But in all the great cities, the likes I've ne'er seen of the road by the river that flows through Raheen. I had only one brother, a gay lad and bold. He was killed in an ambush, may God rest his soul. On the spot where he fell, a white cross can be seen. Down the road by the river that flows through Raheen. Rows and rows of new houses are built on the green, and the cinema stands where my own home had been. The river is there, but no trace can be seen of the road by the river that flows through Raheen. Now everything changes, and we change as well, and I'm sure that you too, if the truth you would tell, wander back to some well-beloved spot in your dreams, like the road by the river that flows through Raheen. Like the road by the river that flows through Raheen.
It gives me great pleasure now to introduce the junior under-15 Ceili band from the Joe Callaghan group in Edgeworthstown, and they will be representing County Longford this year in the Leinster Fleadh, which takes place in Ballymahon later this summer. And they're going to play a jig for us, The Coming of Spring. Welcome back to part 2. I have a group of girls now from Edgeworthstown who recently took part in community games. Hello girls, you're very welcome to the Cosy Corner.
Hi.
So maybe you might begin by telling me your name, please.
Ciara Crossan. Lucy Grant. Aisling O'Meacon. Kimberly O'Meacon. Cueva Connell. Ella Grant.
And what are you going to sing for me tonight, girls?
Consider Yourself
Okay,
from the
girls.
musical Oliver.
From the musical Oliver?
Yeah.
Okay, girls. So in your own time, take it away.
Consider yourself at home. Consider yourself part of the family. I've taken to you so strong. It's clear we're going to get along. Consider yourself well in. Consider yourself part of the furniture. There isn't a lot to spare. Who cares whatever we got to share? It's your chance to be me, to see some harder days, empty ladder days, wild grass. Always a chance to meet somebody to foot the bill. Then the drinks are on the house. Consider yourself our mate. We don't have no fuss. For after some consideration we can state, consider yourself one of us. Consider yourself at home. Consider yourself part of the family. I've taken to you so strong. It's clear we're going to get along. Consider yourself well in. Consider yourself part of the furniture. There isn't a lot to spare. Who cares whatever we got to share? Nobody tries to be la-di-da or uppity. There's a cup of tea for you all. Only it's wise to be handy with the rolling pin when the landlord comes to call. Consider yourself our mate. We don't have no fuss. For after some consideration we can say, consider yourself one of us.
Amazing talent there from girls so young. Bernie, you grew up in Longford Town. Tell me, was there much music when you were growing
Oh
up
God,
there?
it was full of music, it was. There was, I could name 5 or 6 accordion players and they were all great at it. There was the Masterson brothers, Billy and Paddy, they were twin brothers. They had their own band. There was Charlie Dunn. Charlie was a genius altogether. He played the accordion, he played the piano as well. And he would be reading from O'Neill's 1001. Just pick out any page at all and he could play. And he'd get fed up playing this way and he'd cross the hands and start playing this way.
What
It was
decade?
amazing he was.
What decade are we talking about?
You're talking about the 1950s,
Right.
yes. And there was Frankie Murphy was a good accordion player. They had a pub in Ballymahon Street in Longford.
Yes.
There was Tom Coughlin was a good accordion player. There was lots of them around.
And was there music in your own family?
Not so much music as singing.
Right.
We're all good singers,
Right.
yeah.
And were you inspired then to take up the
I was
accordion?
inspired by the Mastersons actually. Billy Masterson used to come in and out to our house and he'd bring the accordion with him and play. And one night he arrived with a little small 12-bass accordion. 12 o'clock at night, I was in bed, I heard this accordion playing. I got up, come down the stairs.
Yes.
He told me if I could play a tune on it that I could have it.
Right.
So I played on top of old Smokey with one finger. I was so used to looking at him playing, I knew where the notes were.
That's amazing.
But my mother actually paid him for the accordion. He didn't give it to me free.
Right.
I think it was 30 shillings or something like that at the time. £1 10 shillings.
And so you obviously practiced hard because in later years...
I slept with it that night. Sunday morning I was sitting up in bed learning tunes on it. I had about 5 tunes off before I went to Mass. But it was still with one finger.
Right.
But I come on from there then. And then Billy come into our house one night and he asked me to play the accordion for him. Sure, the accordion was hanging in a press, hanging up by the straps in a press. And I hadn't looked at it for months. And he gave out to me.
Right.
And I never left it down after that.
So much so that the music brought you, all around Ireland and
It
beyond.
brought me around the world, actually.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I joined Malachy Sweeney's Ceili band. He was the big band at the time. He was from Armagh.
Yes?
He used to record and we played on the radio, the BBC and Radio Ireland.
Right.
And
What decade was that?
that was 1957, March 1957, I joined Malachy Sweeney.
Right.
I played with him until about the end of 1958. I broke away from him. I started my own band.
Right.
Then in April 1959, he come looking for me. He was after getting a tour of America, and I had to go with him to America. And I was arrived there the 18th of March. It was the day after St. Patrick's Day. I was playing at Ceili in the Temperance Hall on Patrick's night with my own band. I was in New York the next night playing with him.
So you flew to New York?
Yes. And we landed at Shannon, took off from Dublin, landed at Shannon with engine trouble for 2 hours. It was the
Yes.
old plane with the propellers.
Yes.
I think it was a Viscount was the name of it. And the next place we landed was in Gander Airport in Newfoundland, in a snow blizzard. And they had to get out, they couldn't make the whole journey that time, they had to refuel in Gander. And they had to get out snow plows to get us off the ground. So we finally arrived in New York then. And it was Idlewild Airport that time, it wasn't Kennedy Airport. It's the same airport, but it's called Idlewild. I remember we arrived there and we had a good time.
And how long did you spend in the States?
3 weeks.
So that was an amazing experience back in those years.
It was, and then I met up with some good musicians there.
Yeah.
Paddy Killorn,
Yes.
famous fiddler. I was made an honorary member of his club.
Right.
How I got in with him, Frankie Murphy was playing in St. Mel's Ceili band in Longford. And I was in St. Mel's Ceili band for a couple of months, in between leaving Malachy Sweeney and forming my own band. I was with St. Mel's, and Frankie emigrated to the States. So when I got over there, I looked him up straight away. And another interesting thing too, well, he was playing with Paddy Killorn at this time. So that's how I met Paddy Killorn, through Frankie Murphy.
Yes.
And they had a club and they used to meet every Sunday. The whole music group would meet together and they'd play for hours. And I was there one Sunday and I was made an honorary member of the Paddy Killorn Irish Music Club. I still have my membership card. And that's 58 years ago.
That's an amazing story,
Yeah.
and you're still going strong.
Still going strong.
Sean, if I could turn to you, you're going to play another tune for me.
Yes, I'm going to play a slow tune. It's a tune of the famous fiddler from Scotland, from up near Aberdeen, the James Scott Skinner, they called him. And this tune he composed it for Queen Victoria, because Queen Victoria invited him down to Buckingham Palace to play anyway. Well, she invited him down anyway. I don't know what happened after that, but he composed this tune in her memory, and it's called My Highland Queen. So now we can make what you like of that.
absolutely beautiful. So you play every Sunday night in Cryans in Carrick-on-Shannon, which really is the cradle of Irish music, isn't it?
A lot of music in Cryans, and there's music there nearly every night. We'd be there every Sunday night now.
And I suppose there's just so much music around Carrick-on-Shannon.
There's plenty of all types of music around it. Like the traditional music and all different sorts of, because it's a tourist town and there comes in music from Germany and France and everywhere. You could meet anyone there playing any sort of music.
So it's a very cosmopolitan sort of place.
Exactly, that's the name, that's the word for it.
And with so many people moving through the town, is there a great exchange of music?
Well, there is indeed, but I try to stick to my own sort of music. It's all I know how anyway. It's not easy to change at this stage, to learn no dog, new tricks.
It's difficult. Well, it has been an absolute pleasure having the two of you, Sean and Bernie. Sadly, this brings us to the close of this week's Cosy Corner, but it also brings us to the close of this series, which began in February. And we set out to showcase music in the Midlands, in Longford, Westmeath, Cavan, Leitrim, and it has just been an amazing journey tapping into that music. We hope to be back with you again in the autumn with a new series. So if you're interested in being part of that series, please contact us through our Outtake Community Media Facebook page. Meanwhile, until we meet again, Bannock de Orif Golair. You're going to play us out with a set of tunes.
We will. Bernie, what will we play?
We'll do a couple of G's.
Right, we'll play a couple of jigs.
How about that one?
Right.
Paddy's Return and Gallagher's Frolics.
Lovely.
Twice through.